recording. Ba, ba, ba.
I am recording. Ba, ba, ba.
I am recording. Ba, ba, ba.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 590th episode of the Pokemon Podcast. It's super effective. I'm your host, Steve. With me is Hannah.
I am here. It's going to be a real rainy community day here tomorrow.
That's good. You get the Whooper bonus.
Yeah, but there's no good place to play inside here. It's just going to be miserable. But I'm looking forward to Clodsire. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, what a good boy. Speaking of good boys, Greg is here.
I am here, and it's going to be cold tomorrow, isn't it? It's cold. Cold-ish.
Yeah. I mean, it's Mall of America
55,
season.
it's not bad.
No, 55 is pretty all right.
55 is pretty good for us, for being mid-November.
Yeah, we had a snowstorm randomly, and now it's 50
It's not
degrees
that
again.
random. It's late October. It snows.
The classic Halloween snowstorm.
But, you know, it was nothing compared to the Halloween blizzard of 1991. So let me tell you about...
Speaking of Halloween, there was a Pokemon Sleep Halloween event, which by the time this episode goes up should be over. But Hannah, how was the Pokemon Halloween? For the first big... I don't know. Well, maybe you could say Good Sleep Day was like the first big event, but this was like a week-long event. They updated the decorations and the music.
It's an adorable event, but I think I didn't notice the bonuses that much other than just the fact that it's good looking. Like, they updated the decorations. There are little pumpkins everywhere. The music is fantastic. It looks fantastic, and they did tell people very visibly to go to Greengrass and not the other islands.
Oh, yeah, they did. I don't know how you missed it.
Oh,
I saw somebody on Twitter or whatever website you want to call it say they started deleting friends who didn't go to Green Island that week because then they realized they weren't playing because it would just show the last island you've been to.
huh.
And I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense.
Rude.
They could still be playing. They could have just gone to a different island. They could be playing wrong.
But at that point, do you want to be friends with them if they're that irresponsible
point, if they
with their
missed
gameplay? I mean, they
Every
should be
single
cut off.
sign to go to Green Island.
I think the bonuses are great. I think I probably just haven't noticed them all that much. I did use a bunch of the candy to evolve a Pikachu into a Raichu and level it up. So it's one of my highest level Pokemon, and it is a very, very fast berry gatherer. And it is pretty much outspeeding any other Pokemon regardless of whether Snorlax wants its berries or not. So that has been great. And I'm sure I will appreciate the rest of the candy later on. But it's not as noticeable a bonus in the moment. I'm still loving the event, though.
Yeah, I really liked the decorations. I think Chris over at the Go Cast podcast got the shiny witch hat Pikachu.
Oh,
Nice.
super rare.
Very cool. So if that happened, you can delete the game, update your LinkedIn profile. You have definitely won.
Shiny Shuppet, though.
Oh yeah, shiny Shuppet's pretty cool. So does Shuppet go away completely when this event is over, or
I don't think so. I'm assuming Pikachu Hat's the only one that's going to go away.
Yeah, I was a little worried that there was gonna be some FOMO for Witch Hat Pikachu, but I've gotten like 3
cute.
this week. So I get like, I wouldn't say one every night, but I got on Halloween, the day after Halloween, and then like a day or two later, I got another one. So
Yeah, I've gotten them most nights, and it only has 2 sleep styles, so it's easy to complete the decks there.
yeah. I did the thing before. For those that were like, where's the calculator? It's on the last YouTube video. It's in the pinned comment.
I mean, that's your mistake. All intelligent people do not read YouTube comments because they know they want to keep their sanity.
You just have to. It's just the first one. It's pinned. It's at the top. Don't scroll any farther. No, our YouTube comments are rather good. I think I've deleted / hidden all the bad people, so they're just talking to themselves. They think they're commenting, and they think people are liking. Well, they're liking their own post. I've always noticed the people who are like really rude, they also like their own post. I know you're liking your own post. No one else can see it but me and you. It's like the worst.
If you don't support yourself, nobody will know.
That's true.
Either.
I
if
agree.
you don't love yourself in your comments, how is anybody else gonna love yourself?
If you're not hyping up your own comment, who else?
What are
would?
you doing? Your comment should be on your LinkedIn profile next to your Shiny account. Here's what I do on the internet. Please hire me.
All of my Pokemon through the calculator, deleted like 20, just so this week I would have been like optimized for catching.
Yep. I did something similar. I didn't make a spreadsheet, but I made very thorough lists so that I had one team for ingredients and one team for berries, and I could switch back and forth between them when I needed.
The most complicated of Pokemon games, Pokemon Sleep. Shifting gears here, we do have some Scarlet and Violet news. We have a release date. Before we get there, we have a better release date. Pokemon returns to the Macy Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Yes. Yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah,
Pikachu and Eevee to soar. You gotta remember Eevee is a very popular Pokemon. Pikachu and Eevee to soar once again for the 23rd consecutive year, which is actually kind of crazy to think about. The Pokemon Company International will kick off this holiday with the return of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade on Thursday, November 23rd in New York City. Fans will be able to watch Pikachu and Eevee soar through Manhattan on a Pokeball-inspired sled, which is... This balloon is relatively new, right? They did this balloon closer to Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they just talk about the Macy's parade, and then they talk about everything that's coming later this year.
All right, here's my pop quiz, Hot Shots.
Ooh.
What is the minimum cost, the lowest cost to make one of those balloons? Just to fill.
Oh, is this Price is Right style?
Yeah. Filling every balloon costs a minimum of how much money?
I'm going to say $80,000.
I think I've seen this stat before. I do not remember. I'm going to go higher and say 150,000.
Should have said 80,001. You messed up the Price is Right.
It doesn't matter, because if we're going by Price is Right rule, Hannah wins. Filling every balloon costs a minimum of $510,000.
Why does it cost so much? You're putting helium
They're big.
in it.
They're really big.
Sponsoring. Okay, here's the second part. Let's see if you can pull it out. Companies sponsoring brand new balloons pay a construction and parade fee of how much? So construction and parade fee for a new balloon is how much?
$250,000.
Construction and parade. That's a bunch of employees for the day. And for the construction.
Yeah, but they're getting paid minimum wage to walk that balloon.
I'm gonna guess $1 million.
Companies sponsoring brand new balloons pay a construction and parade fee of $190,000.
Oh, okay.
You were both over.
We both lost.
Get the
We lost. The Price is Right. We should have said $1, Bob.
I get the car. I get the vacation to Tahiti. It all goes to me.
You get the washer and dryer.
I get the washer and dryer. I get the set of golf clubs. Whatever else they're putting out there now. This is why we need other Bob.
Yeah, what are they putting on the Price is Right?
No, we could ask other Bob. Other Bob knows.
Oh yeah, other Bob would know. Yeah, we gotta get Bob
know.
on. Budget. We gotta get Budget Bob on.
Budget Bob knows all of the game shows. Which,
That's
if you ever visit Budget Bob's stream, you can set off all the game show noises.
Yeah. Here, I'm curious. Okay, so I have two questions. Greg, you probably might know this. Number one is the Macy Thanksgiving Day Parade a nightmare to attend like the New Year's Eve ball drop?
Crowd-wise, yeah, absolutely.
Like, because I've always heard, like, if you go to New Year's Eve, there's no bathrooms.
No.
You're just there for like 20 hours and that sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Second question is, does Japan, did anyone tell Japan about this? Does Japan care about the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade?
Nobody cares about the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade except for every New Yorker and some segments of the population in all of America. I don't think it's broadcast anywhere else. So you got to imagine it's like New Year's is a long party and everything closes. The Macy's Parade is a long parade that starts at 8 a.m. and ends at 11 p.m. Also, everything's closed. So there are probably porta potties somewhere. It's not in any of the businesses. They're closed for Thanksgiving. It's also generally cold. The only bonus that I know of that exists for the parade is the parade route's pretty long, so the crowd is spread out more instead of all in Times Square. Mm-hmm. But it's a parade. Does anybody really like going to parades? The answer is no.
No, I've never been a parade guy.
Everybody likes when their friend is in a parade and they're like, "Here comes a friend! Hooray!" Okay, when can we go? Let's. The other part that I like about the Macy's Parade is when they make the poor shows on Broadway perform a song in the cold on the street, and it's always terribly lip synced, and sometimes it's just a hot nightmare. But occasionally it's really good, or it's really bad, which is also really good.
Mm. I just like the live aspect of like something could go wrong.
Yes.
That's one way to think of
Like
it.
what if a balloon pops? You know, what if a person like falls off their float?
But I just like the Pikachu. I've always looked forward to the Pikachu.
I'm just making up scenarios now.
Here's your chance at redemption. I've looked at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day lineup. How many clown crews are there going to be? How many crews of clowns?
Are we still? Is that still a thing?
It is still a thing. There are still groups of clowns.
I'm going to say six different clown groups.
I'm going to go 3.
Oh, Steve pulls this one out because there are 29.
What?
There are alphabet clowns, artist clowns, birthday clowns, camper clowns, funny flurry like this list is a nightmare. Turkey, tech, players, and sport fans clowns.
Finally, a clown for everyone.
Nutty Cracker Ballet clowns, malt shop clowns. This is the wildest list I have ever seen in my life. There's 29 clown crews in the Macy's Day Thanksgiving Parade. All right, let's move on.
Okay. Let's move on to the biggest news of the week / month / year with the most lackluster way to announce ever, which is the release date to the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Indigo Disk DLC, which is arriving on December 14th. So, ironically, last week we were like, oh, I wonder if they'll announce something this week. They sure did.
And they sure did in the most boring way.
Zero fanfare, no trailer, no... maybe they emailed us. I don't know. Sometimes
I
they
don't
emailed
see an
something.
There was an email afterwards. It took a little time at least to get to me. They had a graphic.
They have a graphic. It doesn't look... It looks like the same graphic? I don't know. Also, why there's no trailer? No trailer? None? No trailer. Nothing new? Not even like a wink wink? Here's a shadow of something cool?
Even
Nothing.
Blizzard did a 45-second trailer for Diablo to say that this expansion isn't coming out for a full year.
Well, Blizzard needs to do something to get people back on their side.
This was, here's a tweet, here's an Instagram post, here's an email. It's
Bye.
coming. Again, this is to the like 5 people out there that are arguing that these games were not delayed, you're wrong. It's fine. There's not a single company that doesn't want their stuff to come out before Black Friday. I get that there might be like, we don't want this to overshadow the fact that Friday was when the physical version came out, which was literally yesterday. We're recording this on a Saturday. But I can't think of, that is such a not huge problem, I think. But I can't think
have they met the Pokemon Company who schedules 50 things on the same weekend?
Yeah, I just like, why would you not, in a business aspect, do a trailer or something to then also say, like, here's the DLC, also you can pick up the double pack now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what is happening? What happened in this situation where this was how they were going to announce? Like, I don't need new stuff. I think a lot of people would argue, didn't need to see anything new. Like the surprise, cool, hold your surprises. Maybe there's nothing to show. Maybe they already showed everything they needed to show.
Maybe they have something against advertising a part of the game that's not going to be in the cartridge they have on shelves
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah, if you need any sign of this game was delayed, it's the fact that this cartridge does not come with the second part of the game.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's like, I think people are excited. I think, you know, it's fine for the 14th of December. They're getting out before. Look, if your main goal as a business is to get out before Black Friday, and you can't hit that, your second main goal is to please get this out before Christmas.
Get it out before gift giving season.
And they're doing that. So Christmas is on a Monday this year.
Yeah.
So this would be the last realistic Friday.
Thursday
before Christmas. I mean, I guess you could argue the 21st, but you don't want your parents to go out that weekend.
They are making it on the second to last night of Hanukkah.
Whew, thank goodness.
They got it in there right when the gifts are supposed to start getting good in Hanukkah, the last 2 days.
There you go. But yeah, there's nothing else to say. That they literally just gave a date.
They said nothing else. So there's not much more there. It's hey, did you know that we're going to release this on the 14th? Do you want more than that? Too bad.
Yeah, so just says the story continues as you're an exchange student that visits Blueberry Academy. Most of this unusual school is located under the ocean. Its curriculum emphasizes on Pokemon battling. The Indigo Disk arrives December 14th. Oh, you know what is the news? I guess is, maybe people don't know this. A lot of people who listen to this podcast probably do. But this DLC requires you to beat the main story of Scarlet and Violet. This is very similar to the Crown Tundra, where you could start the Crown Tundra, you could do Dynamax Adventure, you could meet Peony, I think his name was, and you could meet Calyrex, and then after that, it like stopped because it wanted you to. I think you could get. Look, the Crown Tundra story is incredibly short. Well, it's like 3 little stories. It's the Calyrex, the birds, and then the Keldeo storyline. Spoiler, Keldeo's in the Crown Tundra, if you didn't know. People still don't know this. It's actually shocking to me how many people I blow on a daily mind basis that Keldeo is in the DLC for Sword and Shield. But, like, you can't catch Calyrex / Glastrier, Spectrier without beating Leon. So, because the Indigo Disk should be the final chapter of what Area Zero is, you need to do the Area Zero storyline, which is the final part of the storyline. So you need to finish the Avery stuff. You need to finish the Team Star stuff. You need to beat the Elite Four, or technically it's not an Elite Four. It's like a champion quiz or whatever. Because the real Elite Four is in this Indigo Disk. Then you got to go to Area Zero. And then you got to do the Professor stuff. And then when you get Ed Sheeran to finally appear.
Ah, yes. When you hear the Ed, you know you've completed.
You know that you are ready for Indigo Disk. You do not need to. I don't think you need to beat Teal Mask. I didn't see anything about that. The only thing I saw is
not.
You need.
I feel like you probably should need to. I haven't seen anything saying it, but...
Yeah, the only thing I saw is you definitely needed to do base game Scarlet and Violet. Technically, for Crown Tundra, you didn't have to do any Isle of Armor, but those were different stories.
Yeah,
but they're very
would be
story
weird.
heavy, and I can't imagine them continuing the siblings' story without someone playing the first DLC first.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, I'd be into it if if those kids just were like a side note, just like, hey, there's some cranky kids over here. Don't worry about them. We're important.
As
Excellent.
anyone who's ever played a video game, I'm sure you could get the gist.
Yeah, but then you have to go and play the first DLC second, and that's not going to end well.
Yeah, but that could be like a Star Wars thing, right? Because like,
What's the
you then
proper way
learn
to...
you learn about how Darth Vader became Darth Vader, right?
Only if you watch them in the wrong order.
Right.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Because most people did number 4, 5, 6, and then you do 1, 2. Maybe this is all just a Star Wars thing.
I am not getting into this conversation, so y'all get mad at
So
me.
what I'm saying, spoiler for the Teal Mask, Kieran has the high ground. Kieran doesn't have the high ground.
have the high ground.
Right.
Kieran has the low ground, and he
has the
hates
low
you.
ground.
We get to scream, I believed in you. I trusted you. And then you leave his burning corpse on the side of a Macargo. This is how I want that game to go.
This makes the story way better.
This is what I need for this story to go. This is...
So you're saying, Greg, you are sold on this story if Kieran...
I'm more sold on the story if I can feed him to the Macargo.
Macargo is in the DLC, Greg. It's all making sense.
And it's all coming together.
Woo, okay. All right. Well...
Into the volcano biome with you, baby.
Exciting nonetheless. Hey, they said winter of 2023,
and by gum, they did it.
They did it. They sure did. So we have figured out in the last couple of years that winter, spring, summer,
fall.
they have no rhyme or reason to the actual when seasons start and end. They're just time frames.
There are different definitions of them, of seasons.
Seasons are
what else
what you want them to be. How do you feel about them?
The other bit of Scarlet and Violet news is Typhlosion came out. It was a fire type Terra Typhlosion. It had Sunny Day, which the original Typhlosion had. It had Will-O-Wisp. It had Infernal Parade, which was the signature move. So it having Will-O-Wisp also made sense because Infernal Parade doubles if you're burned. Infernal Parade can burn you. Will-O-Wisp can burn you. It had Flamethrower, and then it had, for whatever... Well, I shouldn't say why did it have Focus Blast. Hisuian Typhlosion has like 4 special type moves. They literally gave it every special type move it had, and then the rest of the moves, the Wild Charge... Well, I guess Solar Beam. But Wild Charge, Play Rough, Earthquake, Rock Slide, all of these physical type moves that actually gave it proper coverage, they gave it none, which is crazy because the first one had Earthquake and Play Rough, which was really good coverage. But I actually didn't like this raid. And I think it's not because it was like too easy or because I don't like Typhlosion, although Typhlosion's not one of my favorite. Typhlosion's not on the top 5 for starters for me. I feel like this raid had like the dumb AI button hit. And when you don't give a Pokemon a variety of moves, it does feel like the illusion is not that the illusion is broken. So the interesting thing that I don't think any other raid did is Typhlosion would change how it opened up depending if it hit or missed Will-O-Wisp. So if and this is part of why I didn't like it, when it opened up with Will-O-Wisp, it only targeted one Pokemon, and Will-O-Wisp was 85%. And if it misses, it didn't set Sunny Day, and it would then set Sunny Day on turn 2. But if it hit, it would set Sunny Day on turn 0 before you got an opportunity to do anything. And I think that's kind of cool to like, oh, it does a different opener if it doesn't hit this move. I do think it was weird that it didn't just Will-O-Wisp everyone on turn 0. Like
I thought that was weird.
Because if it was like, oh, there's 3 Iron Hands standing next to me, it sucks if they would get Will-O-Wisp. And it was like, oh, he just picked the Kyogre. Like, that doesn't matter for Kyogre.
Yeah.
And of course, like, raid bosses would pick the strongest move. That's like a very common thing. So raid bosses will have like programmed moves, right? Like maybe on turn 5, no matter what, the Pikachu is going to surf. It's just like quote unquote programmed in. But otherwise, between that, it's going to do the move that it thinks is best, or it might do a random move. But there are like programmed moves, and then like what move is best against the Pokemon you brought. So I remember against Greninja, I brought Hydreigon. I was like, oh, Hydreigon's like weak to ice, but it's okay because Hydreigon gets Snarl, so you just Snarl twice and then you're good. Like, you're good for, until he resets his own stats. And then you just Snarl twice again and you're good. And because Hydreigon is weak to Ice Beam, it was like, oh, I'm going to spam Ice Beam and not any other move because Ice Beam is the super effective. For Typhlosion, it was like, if you had Flash Fire or you had something like Well-Baked Body, it would still want to do that.
Yeah.
And like, I get it, like, but at a certain point it's not working. So the AI should be smart enough to change that. Like, I can totally understand the AI being like, I'm going to Will-O-Wisp you. Oh, you have Flash Fire. Like, something in the AI goes, don't do a fire type move to this player again because it doesn't work unless I nullify abilities. And I feel like there are situations in Pokemon where like the AI is like, I'm not going to do... We know that AI can do that because there's so many fan-made games where they program it in. I don't... If anything should adapt to the Pokemon you actually bring, it should be 7-star raid bosses. Now, I don't think that the raid suddenly becomes harder because the computer switched to Infernal Parade over Flamethrower that doesn't do anything. Because you just probably have to squeeze in a couple more heal cheers. But the 7-star raid boss should take that into account.
I only did one.
One and done.
I did one. That was the thing. I did one with randoms. And I mean, we had a Vaporeon. I had Kroger. There was another Kroger, and there was a Dashbund. And I knew when I saw it that the Dashbund was like the solo build of Body Slam. So I'm like, well, all I need to do is keep this thing alive, and I literally don't have to do anything else. And that is what I did. And it did it did the Will-O-Wisp to Vaporeon, and then set Sunny Day, and then I immediately rain danced, and then it was like, okay, now I'm just keep spamming Will-O-Wisp, because it did a whole round of Will-O-Wisp after that while we were just going hog wild. Then it reset its stats, but it took a very long time before it threw its shield up. We were many moves in before that shield went up, which felt longer. I don't know.
Yeah, the shield was much later in this in this phase.
It felt way later, and then once the shield was up, it was like, well, we've already set up a lot, and we've already done a lot of damage. So I think I kept everybody alive, and then at one point, everybody except me died. And then we all came back, but at that point, it had sort of lost momentum, and it was just doing Infernal Parade
randoms were
to
dying?
everybody.
Crazy. I've never...
Yeah. And then at that point, I was like, well, as long as the dash button just keeps going hog wild over there, and we're just going to be done, because the other two aren't doing anything. Yeah, and it just went. And I didn't think... It didn't feel as smart as the other ones, which I don't hate, I guess. Like, maybe sometimes it's nice just to have an easy one where people are like, okay, whatever. Like, that was quick and easy, and we're in and out. But I did think it was less... It felt less of an event this time than it has in the previous, where there was a lot more. But while I was raising my Kroger, I did get 2 shiny Sneasel and a shiny Psyduck for no good reason.
Oh, nice.
I
Very
got a boy and a girl Sneasel. I'm like, why are you here? I don't even want to see you, and I'm not prepped to even attack you. But here's the other reason why I saw them. They are such a different color. That is the only way. There could have been more in that dark cave. I was in handheld mode while I was watching Doctor Who. I don't know. But they're hot pink, and I'm like, hey, I know that's different. And I also know Psyduck is not supposed to be blue. Those I know
true.
those two things for sure. The rest,
that Psyduck was just sick.
Yeah, he's just a little under the weather, little fella. I was trying to find Surskit so I could get chilling waters because I didn't have any Surskit syrup.
Yeah, for the earthquake, it didn't end up having.
Yeah. Thanks,
yeah, I felt
Steve.
like I also wasn't angry at the fact that it was kind of an easier or less intelligent raid, less reactive raid, but I don't know. It mostly just felt less intense. I didn't need to pay as much attention to it. Kind of just played through every time. Didn't win every time because randoms are still
They're still exciting.
Did you not have a Gallade that was holding Silk Scarf and opened up with Thunderwave, and you just thought to yourself, oh, this is your false swiping Gallade? Because why else would you have Silk Scarf and Thunderwave? You definitely have full swipe. Thank goodness you didn't use that. But you also died 3 times.
You have to get it to 1 hit point to be able to catch it, even in raids. Everybody knows.
Yeah. I went to obviously go over to... This is still a problem. I went to go over to join somebody's raid, and I accidentally clicked on the random button, and then proceeded to... I cannot do anything.
You can't
I cannot
do anything to
back
get
out.
out of it.
You
are
are
stuck.
3 solid minutes of searching, and you cannot abort.
You
You
can't
cannot.
stop it.
You cannot leave.
There's no abort. There's no. You could turn
There's
your
no eject seat
switch
button.
off. Just power it all down.
So of course, after the 3 minutes, it shows Dashbun, Gallade. What was the last one? It was I think it was Baxcalibur or something. And my chat was like, "Do it, you got to do it." And I was like, "Oh, we're good." I was like, "Okay, we'll see." And it was,
That Baxcalibur is a good choice, though.
it
It's
was
got that
not.
thermal
No, it was
engine.
not a Baxcalibur. I can't remember what it was. It was some sort of dragon Pokemon, but it was holding Never Melt Ice. And I was like, "Oh, this doesn't do anything against." Why do you have this item on? But the Gallade was holding a Silk Scarf. We lost that raid.
What?
And
I don't believe you.
Yeah, I
want
know,
to see the
crazy.
VOD.
It was wild. The dash button proceeded to body slam or body press and then just die. All the dash button had to do was just hit a heal cheer, and it would have been fine.
Yeah, I think normally I
is
see other people doing the other cheers. Nobody in that raid did a cheer except for me. I did heal cheer twice, and that
the
was
Glade.
it.
I heal cheered. I heal cheered twice. I think the Glade heal cheered once. Whatever that last Pokemon was. Here's why I will never do solo builds. Because you see them in group play. And they're the most selfish builds ever. They help no one. There's not a single move on that entire play. Like, if I was to do, like, the Dashbun solo build or whatever, I would put Snarl on it. I would say you open with one Snarl, you help the entire team. You help yourself. Because a -1 Typhlosion does significantly less damage than a full health Typhlosion. Also, if we're thinking of the same Dashbun build, there was no special defense increase because you want all your stuff into defense to make body press better. So, like, I can think of a million ways to make that better. But you shouldn't be seeing it online. Because did we all forget what the word solo meant?
Hey, it worked out. I kept him alive. I knew what I had to do. I knew when that person showed up what my job was as a giant grocery chain. I needed to make sure it was raining, and I needed to heal, and occasionally shoot off of chilling waters that I literally spent 20 minutes getting enough Surskits to make for no good reason. Thank you, Steve.
You should. I have like 30 chilling waters. You just grind out those Surskits. You always need chilling water.
Look, it
And
took me
Snarl.
long enough to find my non-Go Kroger in my home to move it over and move it back so I could move my Go one over. That took way too much of my time. Because I have 113 disorganized boxes. And I was like, it's in here somewhere. I'm like, oh, I have a shiny of that. Oh, interesting. When did I get a shiny Zygarde? What release was that?
That was the 2018 July GameStop event. And the fact that I knew that right there means we have to take a break.
It's sad. It's sad.
And when we come back, we got some more Pokemon news. So we will be right back. And we are back from our break. Before we get to the Pokemon Go stuff, because there's some stuff, I meant to bring up with the Typhlosion being Fire-type Terra, that means we have just Samurott left. And, well, technically, for the Hisui stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm like,
I'm sure
Of the trio.
yeah.
I'm sure there will be other 7-star raids.
No,
but they haven't repeated a Terra for 7-star raids. So if Hisuian Decidueye was grass and Hisuian Typhlosion was fire, you would think that Hisuian Samurott would be water, but they did water with Pikachu. So I think they could do dark type because that would be its other type, and I'm sure they will eventually repeat.
They're going to have to. There's only so many types.
Right. I think we only have 4 left. We have electric, dark, steel, and I can't remember the last one. Ground? I think ground.
I think ground.
'Cause
I don't remember
Chestnut
seeing
was-
the giant earth on anything's head. So
Yeah, chestnut was rock. So either they do water, which makes sense with the other ones. That would be our first repeating type. Or they could easily do dark, and I don't think anyone would question that. If anything,
They're breaking
Iron
a pattern
Hands
either way.
Yeah. Iron Hands users would be very happy.
yeah, finally, our time to shine.
So I guess we'll see. There was some time between Typhlosion and Decidueye, right? There was like a week of nothing in between. Yeah, because that's when they
Yeah.
did the Halloween stuff.
So this Typhlosion is what days? Is it just this weekend?
It's also next weekend, the 9th, 10th, and 11th, which I think next weekend is also a regionals, which has always made sense. Usually brand new that weekend, and then there's some sort of battle. And then I guess after that would be the 16th, 17th, 18th, which is before Thanksgiving, and then the week of Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So they could do something there, and it would just repeat into Thanksgiving weekend, which is probably... They probably want a raid that weekend, right? There's no other events. People are going to be at home with their Switch, right?
I mean, they are on... Depends on how much they're trying to get things crammed in before the 14th. Like, how many things do they want to have happen leading up to the 14th?
Right.
I would imagine that they want to cram as much in to sort of get people back into playing their game right before their DLC comes out. So I would imagine they're going to do something pretty...
You would also imagine they would do a raid. I think back to, like, Mewtwo and how popular Mewtwo was. And then I also think back to Greninja. Like, Greninja was so incredibly popular. I mean, the game was still very early on, right?
Yeah.
Greninja was the second. No, sorry, the second or the third raid. But Greninja was by far up there with, like, Charizard and Mewtwo. I hate to say it, I don't think Hisuian Samurott is up there.
Maybe because it's Thanksgiving, they go with my Flamigo idea. 7-star Flamigo, flightless birds for Thanksgiving. Because there's no turkey Pokemon yet. And they take a break. Maybe Samurott comes out in December and they just do birds for Thanksgiving. or also Lechonk for ham. What other foods are derived from Pokemon? Slowpoke for the delicious Slowpoke tail that everybody has at every Thanksgiving feast.
I still think I don't think it's going to be before DLC. I think it's going to be after DLC to, like, sell more copies. I still think there's going to be a shiny Rayquaza 7-star raid eventually.
Oh yeah. Once the anime is out in other languages, especially.
2024.
Do we know when Horizons comes out?
Nope. It's not this year.
They still saying winter 2023?
There's no date on Horizons that I've seen.
Yeah, I think when Horizon eventually comes out, they're going to line up shiny Rayquaza. Because again, what I just said, what Pokemon is as popular as Mewtwo, Charizard, Greninja? It's 100% Rayquaza. You want somebody that has a bad taste in their mouth of Scarlet and Violet, but they will come back no matter what. It works in Pokemon Go. You can be so mad at Niantic, and Niantic will be like, hey, but Rayquaza's coming this weekend.
Yeah.
And people are like...
I mean, the title of the show is Everybody Loves Raymond Quasar. That is the show. It is the truth. Everybody loves Raymond. It is a winner. It's a big cool dragon.
Snake.
Big old
dragon
dragony snake that goes into outer space. Do you go into outer space? Raymond Quasar does.
True. Speaking of popular Pokemon, Hannah was right last week. Mega Garchomp makes its earth-shaking debut in Pokemon Go.
With a good shiny. Only on the Mega.
Only on the Mega.
Only on the Mega when they can actually fix it.
From Saturday, November 11th, from 2 to 5, Mega Garchomp will make its Go debut in Mega Raids. You will
we had a
be able...
Gibble Community Day, right?
They did.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just Mega Evolve one of them.
Once
right?
you get the energy.
Right.
So you have to do probably 3 Garchomp raids to have enough energy.
Can't you just walk with them?
You can only walk with it after you have Mega Evolved it once.
Oh.
So you have to do the raids to get the initial Mega Evolution.
Stinks.
You stink! Greg, Niantic is blessing you with the ability to use not 5 remote raid passes, but 10 remote raid passes on Saturday, November 11th. You can spend twice as much money. That is a privilege they're giving you. They are blessing you with the ability to spend more money. You will actually get 5 free raid passes if you're in person, though. So you will get 6 total if you didn't do, your daily one. I guess technically 7 if you don't do your one the day before. If you do go out, you get 5 local raid passes. You don't get to keep them. You spend them. You have to use them. There will be an increased chance of shiny Garchomp. For $5, though, for your 5 hard-earned USD dollars, or equivalent pricing in your local currency, you will be able to purchase a ticket with the following bonuses. You will get an additional 8 raid passes, so 14 total if we're counting the first free ones. You will get increased chance of XL candy. We've heard this song and dance before. It didn't work the first time. We will get 50% more XP from battles and twice the amount of Stardust. And don't forget, trainer, you can gift this $5 pass to your friends. Tickets are non-refundable.
Yeah, I mean, it's a raid day. As far as we know, this is the only time you're going to be able to get Mega Garchomp energy for the foreseeable future. So if you want Mega Garchomp, if you want to Mega that Garchomp from summer of 2021, that's the day to do it. That's the day you have to get those raids in. Yeah.
Yeah, unlike other Mega Raids, this is not around for 2 weeks at a time.
Mm-hmm. It is a single day. It is 3 hours.
Didn't Niantic do something? Because the first time they did spend the $5 was the Blaziken, Marshtomp, Sceptile, and then people were like, "I paid the $5 for XL." Wait, what did I say?
Swampert.
Oh, Swampert. Oh, I said Marshtomp. Yeah, Mega Marshtomp is crazy.
Great. It is a very unique way to get that, though.
Because people were like, hey, I paid the $5. I didn't get any extra XL candy compared to my friend who didn't pay the $5. And I felt like Niantic did something, but it was like, here's 2 raid passes. We're sorry it was broken or something like that. It wasn't good.
That's very possible. I was mostly focused on the Megas that day. The XL candy wasn't going to be a good bonus anyway. They're not generous with the XL anything.
Yeah. Increased chance doesn't... I mean, it's broad enough where they're not guaranteeing anything. Increase could be an extra 1 candy.
Could be an extra 1 per 200. That's what it was for the Halloween event. I have no faith in them being generous with this candy.
Is this going to be... Is this a thing, Hannah? I don't remember. I think this was like the not the Weird Deer, the Cleavor or the Braviary. Do we know if Garchomp's resetting every hour on the hour for gyms?
That was a norm for the last few raid days, so my guess would be yes.
So ideally, if I go to Mall of America, there's 7 gyms, but I'm getting 14 raid passes. So I go there at 2, do the whole round, wait till 3. Another round should re-pop up.
From what we have seen recently, I would say yes.
Okay.
But it's Niantic. So who knows?
You could get more
answer.
Garchomp. Our game could possibly work this weekend. But for $5, you may have to find out.
I'm going to go at it with the free passes. Hope that I can find enough other people who are doing the raids. Because I like the new Mega system. I still like the new Mega system. But having only 3 hours to get this Mega is a little bit stressful. Just a little bit.
3 hours? That's so long.
But you need other people. Although, if I found at least one other person who had high-level Pokemon and could do a party play, that's probably enough people to do these raids.
Yeah, probably. It's time to party play. I'm sure a party play of 4 could easily do everything as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This came out of nowhere. They announced a Pokemon Go City Safari in, I don't know how to say this. I'm sorry. Taiwan. Well, it's Taiwan, so Tainan, I think.
Yeah,
that's gonna be
Tainan's probably close enough.
It's gonna be on March 9th and 10th. It's gonna be 300 NT, which is new Taiwan dollars. I think that's what that's short for. Which I believe 300 is 1/3 of the American dollar, so that should be $9. If you convert that, you should just times it by 3. And then the Safari Hat EV will make its return, which was not in the wild. You were limited to how many you could catch in Barcelona and Mexico and Korea. They have a lot of Pokemon spawning in the wild. Not going to go through. Skidoo is coming back. But the regional exclusive is Bouffalant. And if you've listened to this podcast as I traveled the world, for whatever reason, Bouffalant is one of the most in-demand Pokemon, especially in Asia countries. I would say it's demand on anywhere that isn't New York in the United States as well. So, interesting enough, you're probably like, where is Tainan? Nowhere near anything. It is, they're building a Pokemon Center in Taiwan, which I believe opens in December. They don't have a release date for that, but the Pokemon Center is in Taipei, and Tainan is 3 hours on a bullet train south of Taipei. So if you are flying into Taipei, which I think is their biggest airport and is where the Pokemon Center is, and I think is where a lot of tourism would go. 3 hours there and 3 hours back is definitely doable for a day trip, but
3 hours on a bullet train is also a ways.
Yeah.
I think it's an hour flight, but probably don't want to jump on a flight from Taipei to Tainan. I don't know. Busan to Seoul, I think, is also 3 hours on the bullet train, and I did hear/see a lot of people come from Busan to Seoul to do that event. Busan? I'm not sure which one. Busan? It might be Busan. Somebody could correct me.
I've heard it as Busan a lot, so I have no idea.
The sound is probably more likely to be in the language. So also Tainan is probably
Tainan,
right, it looks like.
Tainan, Taipei, Taiwan. We'll get there. This big podcast is slowly becoming international. We'll get there.
Slowly.
So, cool event. Niantic loves their islands. They love putting every island except Australia and New Zealand. You all get nothing down there.
That's true.
So I'm going to assume that there's going to be more safari zones. I think there was maybe a rumored safari zone for South America, and I think there was one for Australia. So
remember,
really
they're city safaris, not safari zones.
Oh, yeah, sorry. City safaris.
Different events.
But the South Korea one went good. I don't know how well the Barcelona one went. I don't actually... I think Tone went to Barcelona, but I don't know if it was laid out the same way of yes, they put the stops in a way to make you go the way they want you to go.
They said in a blog post interview with GoHub that was very intentional and that they worked with local trainers and I think guides to help place those, although I think I remember Tone mentioning in the Slack that one of those special stops, at least one, maybe two, were blocked off by other events happening in the city at the time. So Not sure whether they could have planned for that, but that seemed a bit unfortunate.
Yeah. But cool for Taiwan. I don't know if I'll look, Papa Niantic, Mr. John Hankey, instead of getting yourself another yacht, if you would like to send me to Taiwan to play Pokemon Go, I will say yes. I'll go coach. It won't take a lot out of your very big salary. I don't know if John Hankey has even opened Pokemon Go in like the last 2 years.
Maybe.
That man was real excited about Peridot when I saw him in Germany, though.
Is that still happening?
Yeah. Well, Peridot is way more AR focused than Pokemon Go. I think the most AR I ever use in Pokemon Go is like to make the little Lunchable sandwich ad to get. Hannah knows what I'm talking about. You gotta get that Stardust.
You get the good berries from that.
Make that. I have a friend staying over with me this weekend, and it was the first time he opened Pokemon Go in like 2 years. I was like trying to like get lucky trades out of him because because we played when it came out in 2018 or whatever 17, and he was like, "This is so dumb," as he starts to assemble the Lunchable AR sandwich.
Was his sound on? Because that makes it even worse.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
And he was like, "Usually I pay games to turn this off."
Yep. But at
like,
least
welcome
you
back.
get rewards.
Yeah. I think the rewards are pretty good for a 30-second
They are.
ad.
Coming from Niantic, since they are not very generous with things most of the time, I am surprised that the rewards continue to be pretty good on those.
Yeah. I think the last bit of Pokemon Go news, which we've done a very bad job at covering, is there's an exclusive Twitch Prime Amazon research that you can get. So if you have Amazon Prime, oh boy, this sounds like a Twitch ad. Well, it is a Twitch ad. If you have Amazon Prime, you can connect it to your Twitch account, and then you should use your Amazon. You should use that on a streamer because it's free money and it supports them. So if you can use if you don't know, you can use it on me. But there's a bunch of small streamers that would appreciate your Twitch Prime. But you get it every month. You get it every 30 days. So as long as you're paying the Amazon scam price of $140 a year, which I am guilty of that too, use it, because the only person that wins is Amazon if you don't use it. It is free money into somebody's pocket. So if your friend is streaming, or a small streamer that you like to watch, or you watch a big streamer and you just don't want to see an ad every 4 minutes, use it there because it removes the ads. But more importantly, if you don't care about Twitch at all, you should still link it, because Pokemon Go does a lot of stuff with Amazon and Twitch. So when you link it, you get an exclusive research, which gives you the Greavard hat for free. But it also gives you a bunch of other stuff. And it's relatively easy research, but like I'm on like the final step, which is defeat 5 Rocket Grunts, which is asking a lot for me. But I also have like 3 other quests.
There was just a Team Rocket event.
I know. Ugh. That's why I haven't done any of it. I'm saving it all for one. I mean, every time I do one grunt, it's gonna check off like 6 different things. So again, if you have Amazon Prime and you're listening and you play Pokemon Go, they do this like once a month. They have some sort of item. Usually it's like 1 incubator or 1 incense or something. But this time, I think it ends in a week or 2. Claiming it does. This time it's a 4-step event research that gives you some stuff, that cool stuff. So, I don't know. Do that, I guess. Greg, give me the state of Pokemon Unite.
Pokemon Unite is good. I think the Halloween event is done. I think it's done.
As of this recording.
As of this recording. I think it's done. I think it's out. Mimikyu is great. We don't have a release date on the next one, which is Meowscarada, but that looks very, very fun, so I'm excited for that to come in. I'm imagining whatever date a lot of things are happening raid-wise would be the date that Meowscarada is released. The new balance patch is in. It's made the game much, much, much more enjoyable. The new season has started, so if you really want to do ranked, you can. I haven't had time to play because I have a pesky thing called a job, so I can't spend 2 hours at lunch playing anymore.
Shoe is on the other foot.
Yeah, no, I can't be master rank because I gotta earn dollars. I think overall, after sort of the nightmare of Mewtwo, they nerfed Mewtwo in the ground, and you just don't. Now you don't see Mewtwo that much anymore. People are like, "Nope, I can't hit the button to win. I'm not doing it." But overall, I think the game is in a good spot. We don't. They haven't changed the game in a while. We don't have a new map. We don't have much that's new. So everybody's sort of bracing for when they're going to decide to switch everything up again and do a whole new map and do all the things. But otherwise, if you just want to jump in, see Mimikyu scooch around the battlefield and big shadow claws that come out, because everybody only plays one set right now for Mimikyu, so expect that to be nerfed or the other two to be buffed, but they'll nerf it because Mimikyu's a little overpowered. It's a good time to jump in. And if you haven't played in a while and you played before, you'll get a lot of rewards for coming back.
All right. And then this will come out Monday. So, Wooper Community Day was amazing. It was so much fun. I can't believe that Rayquaza appeared in the sky.
I sure hope people got... Oh.
rained down Woopers on everyone. It was wild Community Day, really.
Yeah.
I sure hope people who care about PvP got their Great League Clodsire. They're not going to be meta breaking like they were originally going to be, but they're going to work well in the meta as far as we can tell.
Yeah, there's probably some Pokemon news that we're forgetting, but we covered the big stuff. So the luxury ball is now available on Pokemon Center. I don't think it's sold out. It was more expensive than the other ones. It was as expensive as the Master Ball.
It's luxury.
That's true. No, it makes sense that it was more
premium
expensive.
price for luxury.
It's very shiny.
Thank you to everybody who blew up my phone, including people at work. Also, this is the thing. My phone, people texted me. It's out. I went to Pokemon Center. I searched luxury ball. Nothing.
I just clicked the email.
Nothing. Could not find it. So I went to Google and I searched, and it brought me to England. And I'm like, I am not in England. So I went into my email, hit the link, and then it went there. And I'm like, this should not have been this difficult. I should have been able to search.
To prevent scalpers.
True. But
I think.
That except for scalpers in England, because that one was really easy to find. So get wrecked, UK.
Yeah, I don't think the luxury ball sold out. The only Pokeballs that I remember selling out was Love Ball, and that was like really good marketing. They put it out like a week before Valentine's Day or something. It was like super good marketing.
And they promised a golden love disc in each one, and they didn't.
And then the Master Ball sold out in a couple hours, like 3-4 hours, and that was gone because they only made 5,000 of those. So I don't know.
It's like one catch, guaranteed. Of course, you're going to get the Master Ball.
One and done.
One and done.
Did they have any? Was this the last one that they announced?
Yeah, this is the last one I think they announced. I don't remember seeing any. I remember looking recently at their list, and I don't remember seeing anything on it.
Yeah, Netball and Dive Ball, I remember them announcing at the same time, and I was like, oh, you're doing both water balls that don't really do... They kind of did different things, but then...
Not really
anymore, because like you can't fish in Scarlet and Violet, and you can't dive in Scarlet and Violet, so as long as you're on water... I don't know.
They look different.
They look different. There's no like... This ball works on snow Pokemon. There's no snowball.
Snowball. That's what they need.
I feel like we're due for a new Pokeball. Last new Pokeball we got was like what? Strange Ball, which I do
Strange
love.
Ball.
If they made a Strange
got-
Ball, that would be so cool. The Beast Ball.
We got 5 new balls in Legends?
No, but they're not new. They all turned into Strange Balls.
Well, Jet Ball, Wing Ball, Hisuian Heavy Ball, Giganta Ball,
And the normal one.
Little Ball,
Double Heavy Ball.
Triple Ball.
They're all they're like I don't know. I was mad at first that they turned into the Strange Ball, and then I ended up really liking the Strange Ball, and then when you move them back, they go back into the Wing Ball, and people thought for a long time that the Wing Ball was super effective on flying Pokemon, but the only difference was that you just threw it farther.
Yeah. It went farther.
And the Heavy Ball in that game doesn't work the same as the Heavy Ball in the other games, which was really weird that they decided to go with that naming scheme.
He just kind of walked up behind things and lobbed it on the ground and hope he hit, because that thing was heavy. Here's the thing. They have already so messed up the Hisuian timeline place where they've just said, they're here now. Deal with it. We don't know how they got here. It's fine. Just bring the balls in.
Nah, I like the Strange Balls.
I mean,
I like
just
the
bring the
Hisuian
balls
ones.
in. Just bring the balls in. You've already have brought in the Pokemon for no reason, no explanation. They've just showed up. Just
Well, they're not
bring
in
the
like the
balls.
wild in Paldea.
Yeah, but they didn't explain how they got here in raids. How did you get the one for free? How did they show up? Why are they here? At least in Masters, they bothered to say they got sucked through space and time. In these games, they're like,
they can't even get this game to run at like 12 frames a second. You want them to explain?
yes! Yes, I do. I want one line of dialogue hidden in some
Maybe
dark
Kieran
corner.
was so bad, his anger ripped a time hole in the space. I can explain it. Hoopa. That is the explanation for every Pokemon issue in the world. Hoopa opens a ring. It goes
You
to
are
the
lucky
ring.
you were frozen for most of that, and we only came back in for Hoopa does a ring, so I did not get more angry than I am right now.
I went from Kieran to Hoopa. Either way, a ring is opening. Kieran is Hoopa. There we go. They're both short
No.
people. Like he shrinks even more.
Here, let me
And
ask you
then-
this: Can I shove
Wait, I
both
didn't
into
mean
a
that
bottle?
like offensively. I just
Because-
meant like size wise. Kieran's a small boy, and Hoopa can also be small boy. That came out
right.
very wrong.
Here is my question: Can I shove both into a bottle? If I can, then I will
Yeah,
follow your
probably.
theory up. Cool. Let me shove Kieran into a bottle and cork it and check it off the side of Blueberry Academy.
Would you like Kieran more if he was secretly a Pokemon? He was a Zoroark
No.
the entire time.
No, because I like Pokemon and I do not like Kieran.
We kind of got that in Black and White. Wasn't there like a person that was like a Zoroark at one point? It was like a non-talking character. Wasn't there a person on the side of the mountain in Black and White that you talked to, and then if you talked to him a second time, they turned into a Zoroark and then ran away?
I thought
That sounds
was
very
I thought
vaguely
it was in the
familiar.
trailer park. Wasn't that the story of the trailer park?
There might have been one at the trailer park too. I don't remember. Wasn't Zorua was really hard to get in Black and White, right? And then they made it easier in Black 2 White too,
Yeah.
'cause I think it was just in the grass.
Yeah. I think there's only one in Black and White through that event, and then there was easier.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's right. I don't know. Look, that was. A
Hey,
long
do you know
time ago.
Keldeo is in the Scarlet Sword and Shield DLC?
What? Where? That's wild. I wonder if Reggie Gigas is in that game too.
It's always funny when people are like, "There's nothing to do in Pokemon games," and then they're like, "Wait, Keldeo's in?" I see you didn't play that part.
Look, you had to find tracks. They were not.
You
fun.
did.
I thought it was
Um,
fun.
Yeah, I didn't even finish I didn't start the gold quest line. I think it only takes like an hour or so to do that, and I didn't finish the Ogre Clan stuff because obviously it was broken, so I stopped doing it, and then they fixed it, and I haven't gone back to it yet. So I gotta do those 2 things before DLC. Anyways, we will be back next week. Thanks for making it to the end. I'll be streaming on Twitch all week. If you need help with Typhlosion, if you missed it the first week, you can come by the Twitch and post your raid code, and I'll join it, and we'll help you get through it. I'm doing it over and over just because I do all of them until I have 999 Fire Terra shards, because I'm addicted to maxing out my items. I don't know what to tell you. I like when the numbers go up. I'm very
get big, me get happy.
Yeah, numbers get big. That's why I like cookie clicker games. The numbers just keep getting bigger.
Number get big, me get happy. Happy big number. Hey,
it's good. It's good.
It's good. Big number.
You ever get a
good.
Pokemon
Small
level 100?
bad.
It feels good. Crank it to level 100. It feels great. All right, we'll be back next week. Thanks for listening. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Greg. This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
super effective.
Super not looking forward to Pokemon Go events in winter weather.
Number get small, number go bad. Temperature small, bad.
Kieran is actually Hoopa.
Let me put him in a bottle!